Bitcoin exceeds $60,000 the first time since 2021. And with this, we're only 14% away from reaching the old all-time high. And we can see a similar behavior that we saw in the last bull run. 2 days ago alone, we saw Bitcoin rise 12.75% within only 12 hours. This is $6,500 in just half a day. And this is clearly in correlation with the inflow of capital into the Bitcoin ETF. We'll have a look into the specifics of this as well. And we're going to have a look at what happened to the gold price after the first gold ETFs have been launched. This will help us to make a conclusion what we can expect from the Bitcoin price, and also with this, the entire crypto price this year and over the next couple of years. Right now, it kind of looks like we're not even getting a last chance, a last dip where we can just get some nicer entries than right now before prices just go nuclear. Or maybe we do. Let's have a look at this. And how did it even get to this crazy rally here? ETF trading volume, new record, well over $2 billion traded. And for context, that's more than most large cap US stocks trade. It is usually very unlikely for such a new ETF to break volume records within the first 1.5 months after launching. And the same we saw in the money flows flowing into the Bitcoin ETF right now. And of course, this reflected immediately in the Bitcoin price, just going up and up and up. And this sounds like real hype to me. So all of this looks to me as if the real hype times are about to begin, as if everybody starts again slowly talking about Bitcoin. And it looks like we are in the bull run. We see right now the start of what Mark Cuban already predicted a couple of years ago. Bitcoin is the new gold. Bitcoin is the digital gold. Bitcoin is the better gold. The gold you can carry with you and nobody can take it from you. No customs. You cannot be taxed on it. No criminals can come and take it. And we can see here right now, right? Gold ETFs bleed $3 billion so far in 2024 as Bitcoin ETF hits record volumes. Do you see a trend here? Leading gold exchange traded funds have seen record outflows of nearly $3 billion so far in 2024. People are going and leaving gold to go into Bitcoin, the better gold. In comparison, Bitcoin price has delivered a blistering 38% growth performance. Now it's even more. According to Bloomberg analysts, this appears to be a result of changes in investor preferences between Bitcoin ETFs and gold ETFs over the last 2 months. And this is just the start, ladies and gentlemen. And if Mark Cuban is just close to being right and Bitcoin is the new digital gold, then let's compare market caps here real fast and just show how much upside potential we have short, mid, and especially long term with investing into Bitcoin, okay? By the way, first of all, crazy that this little internet money that a couple of years ago gangsters used in order to buy stuff, shady stuff on the deep web is right now up here next to Meta, above Berkshire Hathaway, and next to, Alphabet, Google, Amazon, and all these crazy companies. So Bitcoin's market cap is right now at roughly $1.1 trillion here on place 10. And if we just go up and see where gold is at its $13.6 trillion market cap. Just imagine what's going to happen to the Bitcoin price if we're just moving up there, okay? And we're just seeing the beginning how people are just getting out of gold, out of the gold ETF, getting into the new gold ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. Now just imagine what's going to happen, and we'll go to this in a second, when BlackRock and all these big companies are starting to really marketing over time their ETF, because they're not playing a 2-week game, they're not playing a 2-month game. This is more a 20+ year game. And just think about this here in a second. Who in a sane mind sits there and says, let me invest into the gold ETF. It's an amazing deal. I might double within the next 70 or 80 years. While you probably see the Bitcoin price double and go to 110K, 120K, 130K within the next year, within this cycle. There are people out there right now who think that the fact that the Bitcoin ETF didn't pump the price to $100,000 immediately is a bearish sign. Sorry guys, but you have no clue what you're talking about. Do you think that BlackRock is playing a 2-week game, like a 2 months game? They're setting this up to be a 20+ year game. The other day, one of my very successful friends who's in Forex trading came and said, hey, I'm not really bullish on Bitcoin. It's not really mainstream. People don't talk about it so much. The fact that Bitcoin hits 59K, 60K today, and nobody outside of the crypto bubble, no mainstream, my mom and all these people are not talking about it is freaking bullish to me. So why could we see a new all-time high within the next 30 days or even the next 7 days? Let me show you here real fast. We see more than an average of $210 million flowing into the market through the ETF since 1.5 months. And this is a daily average here. But if we look at the trend, which is way more interesting, we saw in the beginning here a massive outflow of money, okay? But if we now check the last 20 days, from the 7th of February, we see a massive trend of more money flowing into the ETF. You can see here, 150 million. 400 million, 540 million. The trend is crazy. You can see that here, okay? The 210 million is a daily average. We can see that the trend is way higher here, going up to 500 million, 630 million. If we continue to see flows like this, we will see the all-time high sooner than we think. In the beginning, I said corporations like BlackRock are not playing a 2-week or 2 months game when it comes to the ETF. So what is their long-term vision with this? And especially, what does it mean to the Bitcoin price and Bitcoin market cap? Let's have a look at the asset classes of different generations in the US. There's roughly 156 trillion of total assets in the US alone. You can see the large part here on the left. This means half of the entire assets is owned by baby boomers. We see here Gen X over here owns roughly 30% of it. The silent generation owns roughly 12% of it. And millennials, of course, is the smallest group with 8.5%. Just stay with me here for a second because this is going to be extremely important for the Bitcoin price. Let's focus over here on the largest asset class, equity and mutual funds, $19 trillion. So what do you think will BlackRock and all these companies do? They will reach out to their boomer clients and say, hey, what do you think? Should we take some percent, 5%, 3% of your $19 trillion and put it into an ETF? And with all the money flowing into the ETF, we can see this is already happening. But the upside to $19 trillion is even way bigger. So what will this do to the Bitcoin ETF? It will continuously increase the market cap of Bitcoin, and with this, the market cap of the entire crypto market. Now, there are many controversial predictions. The Bitcoin market cap right now is roughly 1.1, a little bit over $1.1 trillion. Cathie Wood, for example, predicts the market cap to 30x. This would mean $33 trillion Bitcoin market cap. Now, this might be a little bit optimistic, and Cathie Wood anyways was crazily over marketing in the last bull cycle. I'll give you Elon Musk's prediction also at the end of the video, but can the 1.1 trillion maybe 10x and go to 11 trillion? One number we also always keep an eye on is the global liquidity index, because here we can clearly see the more money is in circulation, the more liquid people are in the world, the more people are encouraged to take that inflating fiat and invest it into an asset that doesn't have the chance of inflating. But of course, this also applies to other asset classes like, for example, the S&P and real estate. But here we can clearly see a correlation of the global liquidity and the Bitcoin price. Now let's come to a conclusion what I and my team think about the Bitcoin ETF and their future. When BlackRock on one side and JP Morgan Chase on the other side says, yes, let's go, and they're saying yes to the Bitcoin ETF, this is really the closest to the US government saying, yes, let's freaking go, we're all in. This scales Bitcoin to audiences that didn't even know about Bitcoin before. And yes, there are people like this. Boomers are the richest people in our society, but they're also the people with the lowest risk tolerance. They don't like tech. They don't like trying new things. They don't trust anything on the internet. Now suddenly Joe Schmo sits down with his local bank advisor, and this guy advises him to say, hey, Joe, why don't you invest 5% into the Bitcoin ETF? It's a very good idea. 5% of $19 trillion, and this only in the US. We're not talking about Europe and all the other markets, only in the US. So what's 5% of $19 trillion? $1 trillion. This immediately doubles the Bitcoin market cap. One more crazy stat is that the IBIT, the BlackRock ETF, is place 6 up here of all US ETFs when it comes to pre-market activity. Eric Balchunas calls this unprecedented for a 2-month-old ETF. So to me, this bull run looks much more bullish than all the other bull runs before. This time, big institutions, BlackRock, institutions with trillions of dollars in assets under management are openly interested in crypto. This time, the mainstream audience, who last time was so far away from this entire crypto bubble, is pouring money, hundreds of millions of dollars every single day into the market. And if we head over here to Google Trends and see here the blue representing Bitcoin and the red representing cryptocurrency, we see that right now the search volume of people searching for Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is nowhere near the search volume that we had when we hit the all-time high. But we're just this much below the all-time high. Meaning, right now, this bull run is going to go way more crazy than we had it in the last bull run. Right now, the people, like my mom, my mom 100% was Googling Bitcoin in the last bull run because it was just everywhere. And right now we're just levels. We're on the same level nearly as we were here, but nobody's right now Googling for this. The mainstream media doesn't have their mind on Bitcoin and crypto. Also, this is extremely bullish to me. The entire retail capital, the entire dump money, how we want to call it, is not even here right now. All right, guys, so let's go into the charts. Let's see what my analyst team and I found out here and what we're seeing happening in the next couple of days and weeks, okay? For many of you guys who don't know, my brother and I hired after the last bull run, basically, we lost a lot of money in the last bull run because we were the suckers in the room going into the markets in the worst possible timing. And after realizing what we've done, meeting a couple of very rich people on a couple of events, especially the yacht party in Monaco, my brother and I brought together a team of killers, especially one of these people, an older guy. He's already in the market since 30 years. Right? He made over $100 million for himself, trading the markets, investing into the markets. And we pay this guy $30,000 every single month and receive every single day from him and his team an analysis what's happening in the market so we can take action on this. And just in the last 2 years alone, we banked multiple 7 figures. And this was mostly during a bear market, okay? We took low entries during the bear market. And this will go nuclear just over the next couple of weeks from what I've seen here. The last 3 days were just insane. If we look at this here, in 3 days, the Bitcoin price increased by 20.5%. Over 20% in 3 days. This is a very bullish sign. When we see movement like this in the market, and we don't see this often, right? We don't see this every single day. Then the market wants even more. And through this whole ETF thing, we can possibly see the creation of a Bitcoin bubble with insane potential. Again, short-term, mid-term, and especially long-term. So just on that little rally today, we already broke through that blue upward channel here. And this means we can easily see higher levels, very likely all the way up the red line here of 68,958. So now you might be asking, will we just jump up all the way to 100K? No, there will be a pullback and I will go over this in a second. And there will be better entries for you if you have not already positioned yourself here in the market. As we know, history repeats itself. Let's see what happened during the last bull run. Here in the last bull run, we even needed 2 new highs, as you can see here, before we had a major pullback. This is the phase that we're in right now, these 3 green candles. After this, most likely, we will see a pullback, the red candle down here. New buying opportunities. And after this, we'll see a new high up here. So right now, everything looks very bullish. And even in the weekly chart, we stay calm, we stay relaxed. If we see a red candle going down here, whenever this will happen, there's no reason to sell. We stay in our positions, we stay calm, we're very bullish. And just keep in mind, lower prices are buying prices. We keep our stop loss at a level of our last high, at a level of 48,750. If the price breaks down through here, if it breaks through, this is a double selling signal. This means the party is over. Doesn't look good. But one thing that is clear to see, none of us sees this coming, okay? It's very unlikely to come. Just wanted to mention this here in case it happens, right? But the chance is very, very small. So me and my team are extremely bullish what's going to happen over the next couple of days. And I think I gave a good conclusion here in this video and gave a couple of very good points. We're extremely bullish for the next 2 years. A lot of money is being earned. In the next video, I will talk about the different stages of a bull run because I think this is a very important piece of information for all of us to know and to also keep in mind, right? Especially when the FOMO is high. Hit the like button if you like that video. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything because I will bring out a lot of very, very high quality content here. I will give, especially when everything comes up, right? If the FOMO is loud out here, right? My team and I promised ourselves that we will keep everything kind of conservative. We will never scream. We'll never shout things to the moon and so on, right? You see here right now, I tell you, hey, these are potentially the risks that we see in the price. But we're very bullish. We're very confident when it comes to the market here right now. And I'm very excited for the next couple of days. We will document everything here on this YouTube channel. And I'll see you in the next video.